Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. Welcome to Luminar Coffee Break. I'm Angela Andrieux, and today is our new Artist Friday Ask Me Anything. That means that I encourage you to place any questions you have about Luminar AI into our chat pod, and I'll do my best to get those answered throughout the show. To kick things off, I'm going to share my screen, and what you're seeing is a list of the most frequently searched things in our user guide. And at the top of the list for this last week was batch processing. So that's what we're going to look at today. And I'm going to show you how to get your edits from one image across a series of images. So we go ahead and switch over here to Luminar AI and we'll get started. If you have questions as we go along, pop those into the chat. And if you have any other questions on other topics, please don't be afraid to ask. If you end up watching the recording of this show, pop those questions into the comments and I'll get those answered for you as well. All right, so we've got this great series of images here of this young man, and I want to make a cohesive look and feel across all of these images. Now, there's a few different ways we can go about it, but they're all great time savers and allow us to make really great edits across a series of images with Luminar AI. So let's select the first one here in the series. We're going to go over our templates, and I'm going to choose this urban style collection, and that's one of the built-in collections here in Luminar AI. I'm going to scroll down here to, where is it? There it is, urban style. And I'm going to choose the Edinburgh setting. And I like the toning that applies. That's a really nice starting point. We'll then click over to our edit tool and we'll add a few other creative edits to really make this look our own and then save it as a custom template that we can apply to other images. So from here, I'm going to go down to our dramatic tool and we'll add some drama to this photo. I'm going to pull that up pretty high here. And I like the kind of grit and grunge that the dramatic tool adds. There we go. But I feel like it brightened it up a little bit too much. So I'm going to go down here into the brightness saturation section and pull back on this brightness and give it a little bit more of a dark grunge feel. I'm also going to bring that saturation back up a little bit because I do like those red tones in there and increase that contrast a little bit. I think that looks really good. And then from there, I'm going to go up to our vignette. And we're going to add a nice big soft vignette just to draw us into our subject. So I'll move that amount slider down to -100, pull the feather up to give it a nice smooth transition. I'm going to leave the inner light alone and then pull the amount slider back up until I like where that's placed. And I think that looks really good. So what we want to do from here is create a custom template that we can apply to other images. So I can go here to this ellipses at the bottom, click Save. And then if I go back over to my templates, click back to the main templates screen, scroll up a little bit here to my templates, I now have this Edinburgh edit here at the top of the list. Now, if I want to, I can click on this ellipses, I can rename it, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it as is for now. Now what I can do is go back over to my catalog, choose the next image in the series, go to templates, add my custom template that I just created. We'll give it a moment here to render. There we go. And that's going to apply those edits automatically. So now those two images have the exact same settings applied. And it's a great way to speed up your workflow. Now that just takes things one by one. There's a few things we can also do here in our catalog to get these edits from one image to the next. What I can do is right click on this image, go to adjustments, copy those adjustments, click on my next image and right click again, go to adjustments and paste. And again, that's going to take all of the adjustments I made to this image and paste them onto the next image. I'm going to take a moment and say hello to Joseph. So glad you're able to join me today. Go ahead and wait for that to render there. Sometimes it does take a moment. And then once that happens, you'll see that we now have 3 images with those same adjustments applied. Go ahead and do that one more time. So it's taking its sweet time to load here. Give it just a second. We're rendering. There we go. And now those edits have been applied. I can hit my G key, go back to my grid, and now all 3 of these images have that same look and feel. But what if you have even more images and you want to move more quickly? What you can do is select one of your edited images, hold down your Shift key, and then click to the end of the series. So now this image is selected, it's edited, and these 2 unedited pictures, or if you're looking at a huge library, you might have 20, 30, or 100 images. It works on that many as well. I will right click on my edited image, go to adjustments, and synchronize those adjustments. And it'll take a moment to process, but it's going to synchronize those edits across every image I have selected that I synchronized. So that's a quick and easy way to get your edits across a series of images. Now, the thing that I like about this particular process is we're not locked into these edits. What we can do is go back into some of these. So let's click on this one here. I like the edits that we made, but maybe it needs a slight tweak in the cropping. So we can click over to our edit tool, go up to Composition AI, and make any refinements we need either to the crop or to any of the other settings. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly straighten this out a little bit. Maybe pull it in a little bit tighter and maybe a little bit more from the left. Hit return on my keyboard, and then this image is good to go. I can also adjust my vignette. When we did our initial vignette, we had it placed directly in the center, but since our subject is now a little bit over to the left, we can click on Choose Subject, move the center of that vignette over, and it focuses in more on our subject. So we can go ahead and tweak all of these settings that we made and really customize each image as we go through. So now we can go back here to our catalog. We've got this image here. You know, I love this textured background, but there's a lot of negative space up here. Again, we can go over to Edit, into Composition AI, and for this image, I'm going to change my aspect ratio. I'm going to change that to a 4:5, and just pull that in a little bit tighter on our subject, and maybe straighten out some of those lines on that corrugated metal a little bit better. And there we go. Hit return on my keyboard, and that one's good to go. And again, because I have that vignette right there in the center, maybe I want to move that up a little bit. Go into Vignette, click on Choose Subject, and move that up just a touch. So again, his face is at the center of that vignette. Now, if we look at this and go, you know what, maybe the highlights are a little bit too bright on this one, let's go into our Light tool and just pull back a little bit on those highlights. There we go, that looks great. And back to our catalog. So you can go through those images, they already have that same cohesive look and feel, and make any small refinements that you think that they need. So it's a great way to not only combine batch processing, which gives you consistent edits all the way across, but you can then go ahead and customize them and make sure each image looks its best, because that's what we want to deliver to our clients. If you're doing a portrait shoot, not only do you want those images to have that cohesive look and feel, you want each image to look awesome. So combining batch processing with being able to go back and edit some of those things really gives you the best of both worlds. Once you're ready to deliver those images, you can go ahead and select the first image, hold down the Shift key, select the last image, and then right-click and export. And then you can export those to your desktop, wherever you need to on your hard drive, create those JPEGs that you want to send to your client, and you're good to go. So I hope that answers some questions for you, gives you guys a better look into how to batch process in Luminar AI. It's one of the questions we get most often, so I figured that's what I would dive into today. If you have any other questions for me, make sure you put them into the comments. I'll get those answered for you at a later time. And with that, I want to wish you guys a wonderful weekend. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give us a thumbs up here on YouTube, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye, everyone.